Hello and welcome to Crowned Conversations. I'm your host, LettaJo. And today I have here with me the beautiful,
Vibing with Coach Angel.
that's who she is today, vibing with Coach Angel, Angel Harris, who wears many hats. But today, let's
I
start
see
off.
this one though. That's that transformation.
Right. Let's start off with we have a couple of icebreaker questions. She filled out a little questionnaire before. So we're gonna see what she talking about, how she was feeling before she started all this. Uh your current obsession, sea salt.
Yeah, the sea salt chocolate covered cashews.
Oh, okay, it all goes together.
Yeah,
Sea salt,
them ones
chocolate
that I
covered
let you
cashews.
taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
them yeah. Those are good. If
Yeah.
you haven't tried them, you ought to try
I'm
them.
addicted. I go to Walmart and buy about 7 cases of them dang on thing.
Oh, so you got extras.
Not right now.
Okay. Says, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I would say a night owl.
You think?
I'm saying it's 1:15 in the a.m. I'm not an early bird, but I got to be up early.
One thing you never leave the house without: your backpack or your purse. I can agree with that. She is the bag lady.
Very many hats and many bags.
Yeah, that's why you need a chiropractor.
I need one right now and a massage.
Your comfort show or really? Your comfort show or movie, Reasonable Doubt?
Yes, girl. Since I got started with that, it's like that, I'm trying to tell you that Jax is the shit. Like Jax, hey, it was like so before that it was Mary Jane. Yes,
Yes.
Mary Jane
Okay.
was it.
Okay.
Now that Jax, yeah, I was like a scandal too, but Jax, that
Mhm.
it's something about a bad sister. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. And a fun or random talent that you have: blending oils and wellness drinks. Okay.
Give me a juicer. I'll be juicing everything.
Okay. I can tell you her oils do smell good and they work very well. Them drinks, they good as long as they don't have ginger in them. I don't do ginger, so. Lessons life keeps teaching you lately. Patterns.
Mhm.
Explain.
So when you go through certain patterns in life, like relationship issues, and the same type of issues is coming up in a new relationship that you had in a previous relationship, those are the patterns that I'm constantly learning life lessons from. So there's certain things that I've done in the past in relationships and been with people in a relationship, prime example, or friendships, any type of situationships. But yeah, I'm learning those patterns quite often until I actually learn my lesson. It's like, oh, you didn't learn your lesson. But this is like
got to try to
everybody
learn
in
to
life.
break the pattern.
Yeah, you got to learn to break the pattern. I think everybody go through this in life. You just go through the same patterns over and over, just different situations, different people, different outcomes, until you learn the actual lesson.
And something you're currently proud of: your spiritual growth.
I'm proud of it. I am. Even though I be like, damn, why I gotta be so aware? But very proud of it.
Okay. What does wearing your crown confidently mean to you?
What did I put?
You put allowing your light to shine bright.
Yeah, just walking in alignment with myself. Just being in a space of recognizing myself, my self values, and truly valuing myself, putting me first. It's always been a struggle in life. It's just I'm always putting everybody else first, but just to actually wake up and be intentional about myself, lighting my candles, lighting my incense, turning on some vibing music just to get my day going. And if I decide to do a little 20-minute workout or something, it's like that just sets the tone for my day. And always making my bed. That's the one thing. Now that I'm grown, like I cannot leave my house without my bed being made.
It
It's
makes a
something
difference.
about
It's
making
a
your
feel when you walk in your
that
room and your bed is made, and it's
that
like that
part.
clean environment.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that part. I don't care if it's clothes over here on this bench or over. As long as my bed is made, it's something about that bed being made
Yeah,
for
because the
me.
passenger side of my bed is full of clothes.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Mine's always full of books and work, laptops, books, and all that stuff.
Somebody once told me, get work out the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to make that a habit. So I got offices. Everything's
Right,
in the offices, and I try to keep work out of the bedroom
right.
because that's my place to relax.
And see, it wouldn't work for me. It was more the spiritual stuff. So it was like my journals and me studying my moon cycles and the lunar cycles and all of those different type
Okay,
of things. So
okay, I can get that. I can get with that. And with this being the new year, it's gonna be our final question for right now. What excites you most about this season of life? And you said new beginnings, being able to start over with a clean slate.
yeah, it's just like a reset button. New
Okay,
beginnings.
okay. Now we're gonna get down to the get down. We are here to talk about your experience with endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to know is, for those of us who don't know, and I even had to go look it up myself, what exactly is endometriosis?
Girl, you gonna put me on the spot like that?
I mean,
I'm gonna
explain it.
just sum it up
Explain
in
it
a
the best way
nutshell. Is
you
when you
can.
got bleeding on the outside of the uterine wall. It's just some bleeding going on outside of the uterine wall.
Okay. Well, that sums it up. When did endometriosis first enter your life? Before you even knew what it was, like,
For me, well, I wasn't diagnosed with endometriosis until 2020 when I had my surgeries. But just growing up, I started my cycle at 9 years old. So when I started my cycle at 9, I've always experienced really, really bad menstrual cycles. So I had a lot of cramping, vomiting. Like I would miss my first 2 or 3 days of school. Just growing up, it was terrible. I would have to go get shots for it, all of that. They wanted to put me on birth control early for it. So I always knew it was something going on with my body when it came to menstrual cycles. I had a lot of abnormal pap smears. I had a lot of
abnormal, like what?
pap smears where I had more white blood cells than red, or more red blood cells than white blood
Oh,
cells.
okay.
So every time I would get the what is it called? I can't even think. Pap smear done.
Mm-hmm.
My pap smear would come back abnormal, so I would always have to have some type of biopsy. So they had to go and clip it and see what was going on with me. And that was every pap smear, pretty much. I've always had fibroids and cysts. I had those complications as well. I was told that was hereditary. It would come, like my mom dealt with it bad, and it was hereditary. But there was really nothing the doctors would do about it or say much. It's just like, oh, this, and here we need to put you on birth control to kind of manage and control it. But it just wasn't helping. So, yep, 2020 was when I first found out about endometriosis. And the crazy thing is, I didn't know what endometriosis was. A friend of mine, I was telling her the complications that I was having, and she invited me to this seminar for endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a lot of doctors of color that were talking to us about the stuff or whatever. And it was like, oh, this is intriguing and interesting. One of the young ladies that was a speaker, I went to school with her. She spoke on her issues with endometriosis. Um, and it caused me to want to research it more. And then when I was diagnosed with it, I did start researching it more.
So, how they eventually come up with your diagnosis?
Um, well, I was having more complications, and then I started passing massive blood clots. So when I say massive, like the size of embryos, I had no clue what was going on with me. It was just like, okay, I got up and went to the bathroom one day, and it's just like coming out of me. So that's when they were like,
See, you just had to say embryo, and all I thought in my head was you having blood babies.
yep, that's what it felt like. I thought I was having blood babies. I didn't know what was going on. And my partner at the time was fixed, so I don't know what. I'm like, I can't be passing babies, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, so I'm just really at a awe. So that's when they told me I had to have a hysterectomy. They still never said it was endometriosis. They never could tell me what was going on with me. I'm like, there's nothing that they can pinpoint to say what was going on. They just told me what needed to happen. And so when I went in for the first hysterectomy, that hysterectomy experience was terrible. But when I went in for the first hysterectomy, well, when they diagnosed me anyway, they just told me that I had some bleeding outside of my uterine wall. So that's when they, on my paperwork, when they dismissed me, that's when I seen endometriosis. I'm like, what the hell?
So they never told you.
Never
They just
told
put
me.
it in the paperwork.
Just put it in the paperwork.
Wow.
So, so I was like, okay, well, what is endometriosis? So, you know, I have questions at this point. Now you're
Right.
telling me that I have to have a hysterectomy or a partial is what they were stating. So, they would leave both ovaries and they would do a partial. I already had my tubes tied, so I didn't know if this was caused because of my tubal ligation that I had done previously, or my previous C-sections. I had 3 C-sections with my children, or whatever the case may be. So I didn't know if it had something to do with that. So I got questions. I can't get none answered. You know.
So I mean, I know sometimes it can play a part where your doctors, melanated.
Yeah, color. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say that I've had experienced a lot of injustice in the hospitals because of my color, because of, just me being a woman of color, but then also woman who it comes in on with whether you got insurance or you got Medicaid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I first started going through the process, I had insurance through my job. When later on down the line and having health issues that I was having caused me to lose jobs. You know what I mean? So I ended up being on Medicaid working, jobs that I could work at the time. So you can definitely tell the treatment had been a whole lot different. So definitely there's a lot of injustice when it comes to women of color.
Okay, and you said
when it's in the
due
hospital.
to the complications you were having, you were losing jobs. So like, what complications would cause you to not be able to?
So dealing with the endometriosis for me has been pretty much dang near debilitating. So when I had my episodes, when I'm passing the massive blood clots or whatever, it's not just passing the blood clots. It puts a whole damper on my body. It was days that I couldn't get out of bed.
Is it painful?
It's very painful. It was very painful. Like it's almost like having like really heavy menstrual cycles. So for me, I can't say labor pains because I had some terrible menstrual cycles. So when I had my first kid, they like, girl, you are like 5 centimeters and this dilated and you having contractions. I was like, I just feel a sharp pain in my belly. I don't know what this is. We got to take her emergency C-section. I was like, really? Like, like this is, I just feel a kick because she in this nerve here, but it wasn't no worse than my
was worse than labor
my
pains.
endometriosis and my menstrual cycle pains was worse than my pregnancy and my contractions in labor. So I really never got to experience that because they took all my babies via C-section. But when I was in labor, it felt like menstrual cycle pains to me, maybe a little bit lighter.
Well, it sounds like endometriosis sent you through labor.
Yeah.
Because labor hurts.
Yeah, I heard. I hear it all the time. Labor hurts. I can tell you healing from a C-section hurts, but yeah.
So, let me see. You answered pretty much most of these questions. Like, did you feel dismissed or not believed by medical professionals?
Oh yeah. You did ask me. So you were asking me about losing jobs. So pretty much it was like it's debilitating because one is painful. But it not only is breaking down your body, You're very fatigued. I was fatigued. I couldn't really eat much, so I was losing weight. I couldn't hold down foods, water. It was like I was vomiting on top of passing blood clots. Like pain and pressure through my legs where I couldn't really move. You know what I mean? And then if you're dealing with all of that, you can only imagine what I'm dealing with in my mental. Being and then you sitting here thinking I'm a single mom of three. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, what's going on with my body? I'm losing all of this blood. What, and I'm not getting answers from the doctor. So you're not getting answers, and all you getting is, well, try this, try that, and nothing's working. It's like, and then going back and forth to the doctor's office. It's like you only take so many days off from a job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do you wish that doctors understood more about endometriosis and the pain that you go through?
So for me, uh,
have you found a doctor that understands yet?
The crazy thing is, so the last doctor I just went to that did my corrective procedure for, well, I had the two hysterectomies. I had the hysterectomy gone bad, where pretty much died on the table, came back, where they hit that major blood vessel, causing me to bleed out. So that happened, and the doctors lied about that and was very dismissive. I knew she kind of was a little leery because she kept asking questions, just coming in and checking on me, and it wasn't until maybe like day 3 when the surgeon that was in the surgery with her came in talking to me and was like, and this is during COVID time, so I didn't even have nobody there really to be a support system to ask questions to really advocate for me, on my behalf. And it was like he was talking to me, and he was like, well, yeah, when they were in surgery, she hit a major blood vessel, which caused me to bleed out, and they had to close me up. Well, when they did my procedure and surgery, the guy that I was dealing with at the time, they came out and told him that there was complications, that when they opened me up, I was already actively bleeding. So they had to hurry up and close me up. So that was the story that I got originally. It was like, oh, you were actively bleeding. We had to close you up. So I was just like, huh?
But then when the surgeon came in.
When the surgeon came in that was in the surgery with the main surgeon, he was like, yeah, she hit a major blood vessel, forming a hematoma, causing me to bleed out. So I spent a week in ICU, like a week in ICU. And then this is when I say the injustice in the hospital. Because the moment that I started asking questions, and at the time I had a friend who worked as like a surgical assistant at another hospital. Well, she came up and was able to come up to visit me because during that time you could only have like one guest a day. So she came up to sit with me or whatever because she was asking questions and having us ask certain questions. And when she came to start asking the questions, they were talking about releasing me to go home that day. Earlier throughout the day, I had just got released to go ahead and start eating food my mouth, because the whole week I was there, I couldn't eat food, I couldn't do anything. I was liquid only, or ice. They would give me ice or whatever, but and then put liquids in my IV, but I couldn't take anything
for a week.
Yep. So I was being pumped through my IV. So no foods, no solids, no nothing. I think maybe day 5 is when they start giving me broth, allow me to have broth and soft liquid diet. But I was excited, about to order my food. I'm getting released, talking to her, but then when I'm telling her what happened, she started asking questions. And when she started asking questions, it made the doctors and the nurses uncomfortable. So while she was in there, they went out. They were giving me my information and my release time and all of that. Nurse came back in and was like, we have to rush. We have to take you. We have to rush you off from, because I was at St. Luke's in Overland Park at the time. They had to rush me to the Plaza location, which was the trauma location. So I had literally just ordered my food, everything. They told me they had to rush me off there because my blood count had dropped tremendously. And so I had to be monitored over the weekend and sent over to the trauma center. And they didn't have any trauma people there to assist at their location. So this is why she's asking questions and asked to talk to the doctor. The doctor never came in. So they rushed me over my
So
gurney.
basically, they're trying to put liability on somebody else so that they don't have to
my
deal with it.
gurney. Yep, that's exactly what they did. They put me in the ambulance, rushed me over our gurney, and this was the part that it kills me to this day. When they took me, they took my bedding and everything from the bed that I was laying in, and transferred it over to the gurney, and then they transported me to the ambulance. And when I got to the hospital at St. Luke's Plaza location, they lifted me up off of that gurney with the same bedding and everything and placed me on the bed at the hospital.
So they ain't even changed.
They have not changed my sheets, nothing. Mind you, I said this is during COVID. Mind you, they hadn't changed my packaging. They had not changed my IV. And so at this point, my arm, this right arm, swollen because the IV and everything, the way that they kept shifting me, and I kept crying about my arm. Like, I can't, it's going numb, it's swollen, I can't feel anything. They ignored me the whole time. My padding, none of this has been changed. Mind you, I'm still bleeding out because I haven't had the hysterectomy, so I'm still passing blood clots.
Right.
So at this point, it was just like I'm being ignored, and so I think remember it was like a little Chinese doctor at the time who came in, and he was just like ignoring everything that I'm saying, and I'm like, yo, this. My arm. At this point, I can't even think about none of this. I can't feel my arm. This is infiltrated. They were so busy worried about trying to give me another COVID swab after they changed my bedding. So when the lady came in, the nurse came in, and I'm crying, and I'm telling her what's going on with my arm. I'm uncomfortable. I need my bedding changed. She swabbed me, and when she swabbed me, she shut the thing so far up my nose. My nose just started running, nothing but blood just coming out. So I'm like, as I'm not losing enough blood. You know wow. She stuck it so far up my nose is just bleeding. I'm like going through like towels. It's not even tissue, it's towels that we're going through at this point with my nose bleeding. Doctor shift changed, and it was an older black doctor, a gentleman. And at this point, I was completely discouraged. I felt like whatever that doctor did, they were trying to cover it up. And I did not think at all that I was going to make it home to see my babies. And I was like, they trying to kill me. That's all I kept saying. I couldn't have nobody there with me. I couldn't make phone calls because of the shift that they're doing with me so quick. And because my friend came to see me at that hospital, they wouldn't let me have a guest at the other hospital unless she transported with me. So I couldn't have, that's what they told her. And so I couldn't have a guest at the new hospital. And so, and finally I got my cell phone. I'm calling my mom and letting her know. But when that doctor came in, he was like, how are you doing? And I'm like, at this point, do you really want to know? Because nobody's hearing me and everybody is ignoring what I'm saying. I'm like, I keep telling them that I can't feel this arm. It's infiltrated. This IV has been in my arm for days, and they transported me like this for days. And I can't feel, it's numb. My fingers is numb, can't pale, everything. And it was just swollen in the spots of where I had it, swollen here, swollen here. And he looked at it immediately. It was like, her veins are infiltrated. Take it out. So it was like, okay. But do you know, it still took them an hour before they took the IV out of my arm. Wow. Still took them an hour before they took that IV out of my arm. So it was just like, okay, I felt like there was no hope. I remember calling my mom on my cell phone, and I was like, Mama, I think they're trying to kill me. Like, literally, I'm sitting here in pain. I'm pressing the call light. Nobody's coming. You can hear them outside laughing outside the doors, just doing what they do. Yeah, granted, I know the hospitals is busy during COVID, all of that, but I'm like, I hear them sitting out here out my door just laughing and talking about personal stuff and everything else. And I've laid on my call light. Still, mind you,
Never dressing never changed, bedding never changed. I'm like, yo, y'all didn't transported me with this bedding, and you talking about COVID. I've been transported from one hospital to the ambulance to another hospital, and it was just
And you haven't
traumatized.
sued them yet?
I tried. I looked well. Really, at the beginning of that, I didn't, um, because I was more concerned and worried about
Your health.
my health and
Right.
what's going on with me. Because at this point, I'm still going through what I'm going through, and I don't know
Right.
what's going on with my body. So it was my thing was to get well, get out the hospital, get back to my babies. You know what I mean? And so when I was able to finally do that, it was a blessing. But
Right.
I had to turn around and go back into a hospital and have another C-section. I mean, not a C-section, but a hysterectomy.
I was about to say, when did you have another kid?
No, not a C-section. Girl, I had three of them. Remember, I told you I had three of them. But I had to go back and have another hysterectomy. I refused to go back to the same doctor.
Right.
Um, I did choose a whole nother doctor, a whole nother hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So did that. Did end up finding out the doctor that I went to at the new hospital was like best friends of buddy buddy with the doctor who performed my first surgery.
Oh wow. That's like when you go to court and you find out that the prosecuting attorney is friends with the judge, and they all affiliated with each other. So
But that doctor, she was so they sent me to it was like a cancer center unit. She was good with cancer patients. So that's all she did was surgery with cancer patients. But she's great with laparoscopic surgeries or whatever, and that's the type of surgery that I had to have. So she did my second surgery. So I had a 6 week recovery time. So this is how you asked me about losing jobs and stuff. So I went through the process, had an extended stay at the hospital because I didn't get out when I was supposed to leave.
right.
And then I went through the 6 weeks recovery time. And at the time, that job that I had, I worked from home, and they were understanding till they couldn't be understanding. You know, my supervisor even gifted me his time off and all of that different type of stuff. But it was just the healing process was taking too long.
Right.
And so, again, it was during COVID, during layoff times, all of that stuff too. Um, so they had hands was tied, but I ended up having to heal for that 6 weeks and then go back and have the procedure done. So,
The same thing.
yeah, the same thing,
Another
a
hysterectomy.
hysterectomy. So it was
Okay.
supposed to be a partial, like I said, it was supposed to be uterus and I think no, just the uterus, and they were leaving both ovaries. So when I got in and got into that surgery, it ended up having they had to take the uterus, fallopian tubes, and um, one ovary. They left one ovary. So what I was told was the scar tissue from my C-section surgery, my uh, tube tube ligation, and all of that. The scar tissue had started wrapping around my organ.
So they didn't see all this scar tissue the first time they was in there.
That's probably why she jacked up. But nobody told me about scar tissue.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Another thing that they
yeah,
just, yeah.
they just
Okay.
dismissed.
Yeah.
So and
Don't we
that's
love
the
some
other thing.
doctors?
That's the other thing though. They don't tell you about scar tissuing when you have surgeries. You know what I mean? So
Right.
C-sections and all of that. Which I feel like too, my first one and the complications that I had with my first one probably caused my miscarriage with my second one. You know, but there's things that I didn't know and that they didn't tell me, you know what I'm saying, as far as that goes.
Right.
So they don't tell us about scar tissues after surgery. So, you know, even if you go and get these surgeries that you have to get, or if you go and get surgeries that you don't have to get, cosmetic surgeries, you can have scar tissue and they can cause further complications with your body and your organ.
Right.
Um, but yeah, they didn't tell me about it. So when I went in, I thought, okay, great. She's getting to the root problem. Surgery went well. Heal time was a whole lot better the second go around. And so I was like, okay, great. You know, and here I am. I thinking I hear it from everybody else. It's like hysterectomy is like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Oh my God, you just don't understand. And so I had so many friends and family.
Yes, honey, because I
Yeah,
love my
'cause I think
hysterectomy.
you was one that told
Yes,
me
it
that.
was a beautiful thing.
So it was just like, oh, okay, great. This is gonna fix me. It's gonna heal me. Until it didn't. So after that, I think it was maybe, I don't even think it was a full year. I started having breakthrough bleeding again.
So at this point, had you been figured out that you had endometriosis yet?
Yeah, they told me I had
Oh, okay. So by
endometriosis
then you knew
with the
this.
second one. Yeah,
Okay.
she was the one who told me it was endometriosis. So that's what I seen on the paperwork.
Right.
That I had endometriosis after the first oops
Okay.
procedure. Um, and so it was that I wanted. She had finished that, and then they told me. Then I had to break the bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
So I started having the breakthrough bleeding maybe 6 months after my surgery. And so I was going in to get it checked out. Nobody knew what was going on with me. Oh, I don't see active bleeding. It's like, how you don't see active bleeding? I'm passing blood clots. I'm still bleeding. I'm actually bleeding like having menstrual cycle periods.
Right.
So
Was it still as painful as?
it was painful. Yeah, it was cramping. I would have numbness from here
So
to
basically, same
yeah,
thing you
like
was having in
same
the very
thing I was
beginning.
experiencing in the very beginning.
Wow.
And so it just felt like all of this was applying so much pressure down below. So it was freaking me out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I went in to go follow up, and they did all these scans and everything else. Well, yep, we don't see no active bleeding. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I went to another doctor to try to get a second opinion, and they still didn't know what was going on with me. Oh, it's unexplainable. I don't see any active bleeding. Well, here, take this, take that. And it was like, I'm taking what for what? Like, nobody's able to give me an answer. If you don't know where the bleeding is and you don't see active bleeding,
Then why are you giving me something to
then
take?
why are
What
we
am I
giving
supposed to do with
something?
that? Yeah.
So, at that point, I just gave up. I started. I was at that too. I was into my spiritual stuff, so I just started doing more stuff holistic. You know what I'm saying? Taking, doing herbals, teas, and yoni steams, different stuff like that. Just trying to help my body along.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like I kept experiencing it, and it was just like, okay, I gave up. So I stopped all my holistic stuff. I stopped everything. I was just like, it just is what it is. I don't know what's going on with my body. Nobody can tell me no answers. For me, and that'll be on a whole different, deeper topic. Like for me, I feel like my voice is being suppressed. Like I feel like in my life, period. You know what I mean? It's just like nobody's listening, nobody's hearing me, and I'm crying out, and I can't get answers. Or it's like I'm being dismissed. Like, oh, girl, that ain't nothing.
And see, that leads into my next question: is like, how has it affected your mental health?
It affected me big time. It affected me big time because it was just like not being able to be heard and just constantly being dismissed. And then it was just like the type of person that I am, like even in my pain, you can still see me smiling and still show up. Because again, I don't want my kids to feel a certain type of way, and I don't want to be walking around like I'm a dead weight.
Like, oh, woe
Like
is me.
yeah,
And
like
yeah.
oh, exactly. So for me, it's always been my thing has always been healing and always been helpful for everybody. You know what I mean? So it's just like okay, I show up, I smile, I do these things or whatever, and I'm moving and doing stuff even in the midst of my pain. I can't actively do the things that I was doing before all of these complications. Like my food business, I couldn't run that. I couldn't do certain things. I had to cut out a whole lot of stuff. And it caused me to have high blood pressure and all of these different elements of my body. I didn't have full control over my body. I started doing the workouts and stuff like that, which helped me with the mental piece.
Mm-hmm.
um but eventually it was just like still getting those. I don't there's no active bleeding. I don't know, and it's almost like you're laughing at me to say, oh, she's making these things up, whereas this is stuff I've been dealing with all my life, going into the hospitals, telling them what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, and just being shown off and dismissed. Um, So I went to a full functioning medicine doctor, and I had because it was still a lot of pain, and then it was like even I was having gut issues. So when I was having the bleeding, it was like whenever I had to try to have a bowel movement, I felt a lot of pressure, and that's when the bleeding would start. So I was concerned. So I started studying and researching myself of hysterectomies, complications after hysterectomies, and so that's when I seen this thing called vaginal cuff tear. So when I was going back, I kept asking, "Can you check my vaginal cuff? Can you check my?" Oh no, everything looks fine. They just kept putting me on machines and scanning me, and like, no, that looks like it's fine or whatever. To eventually, where a year after I was going back for a year after, they told me I had to have a referral to go back to see the doctor that performed my surgery because all she did was cancer patients. So I'm like, this woman completed my surgery. I've been coming back to you guys telling you I'm having complications and breakthrough bleeding, and I need her to get to the root of the problem. But y'all telling me I got to go see another doctor,
Right.
and then have them refer me back to her to see me
When
to
she's
see
the
what's
one that
going on with me.
originally
And she's
did
the
this.
one who originally did my surgery. So I was going through the ringer with all of that. So again, I just like I said, I started researching for myself, researching more about his endometriosis, which I found out with endometriosis, it don't just happen there; it can spread out throughout your body. It can go to a woman's brain.
Seriously?
Endometriosis can go to a woman's brain.
What that? What it do to your brain?
I don't know, but it can go to your brain. It's like it's
Looks
bleeding
like
on the
we've got some
outside of
research
wall.
to
So
do.
it's definitely a lot of research. Do your research for sure, but it can go all the way through a woman's brain. It can go in every area of your body. So
Learn me something new.
yeah. So I went to see the full functioning medicine doctor. Um and that was the first time I felt hurt. Um I talked to her, she pulled my records, and she put all my health records. And then I had her do a microbiome where they check your poop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had her do a hormones check as well,
So
where they
you
check.
had to pee in a bag. I mean, poop in a bag.
I had to send samples of poop. I had to poop in these tubes and send samples
How
of
you
poop.
put the poop in the tube?
Yeah, yawn. Came with gloves in the kit. It came with gloves in the kit. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It's not the best experience, but it's the best thing to do. Definitely getting that check was one of the best things I've ever did because at that time I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to heal.
Absolutely.
And that was my diet, my health period, like working out. All of those things were imperative to me to do for me to feel better and heal.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I found out I had a gluten sensitivity, celiac, so I couldn't eat gluten. And that was causing a lot of gut health issues and all of that. But I kept digging into the vaginal cuff tear, um, and I felt like I was experiencing that. So with the vaginal cuff tear is kind of, this is nasty, but it's where your feces can come up and come through your lady parts if you have a cuff tear and if it's tore big enough.
I remember I said I was gonna have to. I want to see the diagram of the innards of the body because I know like the lady parts and the pooper
Yeah.
scooper, they right there close
Right
to
there
each
close to
other.
each
So
other.
it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
how does that happen?
yeah.
And so for me, I've always been complicated because I have a tilted pelvis, so it's like literally right there. And so I don't know when the first surgery gone bad, they formed a hematoma. I'm believing it was when that happened. But I started researching doctors of color. I kept going to seminars to educate myself on endometriosis, and I started going to events where they were talking about breast cancer and all this. These were women of color doctors, and I would talk to some, and it was like, okay, I found one. I just looked up and found one. I was like, I'm gonna go see her. She was at St. Luke's. I was dreading it, but I was like,
Right.
I'm gonna go see her. I was like, she practiced in New Orleans. She did this. I'ma just see her. And the craziest thing happened because with me, a lot of things happened in alignment. The craziest thing was I had just started talking back to one of my childhood friends,
Mm-hmm.
and it was my childhood best friend on top of that. But we were talking, and so she was like, I was telling her what was going on with me, everything had been going on. She was like, dang, that's messed up. She was saying she had to have something done, but she was like, you should go see my doctor. She's a great doctor. So I was like, well, I just scheduled with this new doctor. She's so good, it takes about 6 months for me to get in. So I had put in an appointment for 6 months, and like she goes through your records just thoroughly. Like
Right.
she wants your records immediately up front so she can go through your records before she even see you. And so she was like, dang, she's like, that almost sound like my doctor. So she said her doctor name. I said, that's the doctor I scheduled. So when I went in to see that doctor, um, she definitely made me feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
She went through my charts with a fine tooth comb, just like the full function medicine doctor did. And what I didn't say is what I found out from the full function medicine doctor was my immune system was very low, but my estrogen level was extremely high. So that's what all the bleeding was coming from. And my progesterone level was extremely low. So coming through up through childhood, when they put me on that birth control,
Mm-hmm.
they messed me up even more because my birth control had so much
It's
estrogen,
estrogen.
and they was
Yeah.
pumping me up with estrogen when I didn't need it. My body was highly producing way too much estrogen already.
That's why you like all this pink.
Mm-hmm. Way too much estrogen than progesterone. So they gave me a progesterone. She gave me a progesterone cream, and I was using that and putting that on for a while. But when I finally went to go see this doctor, she made me feel heard. Um, it was almost like she was in the crowd with me, and so she got me up on the table and she did a pelvic exam.
Mm-hmm.
And when she did that pelvic exam, she was able to identify, and I wasn't even bleeding at the time. She said, I want you to come back when you start a bleeding episode, but I think I see what the issue is. So, not too long after that, maybe about a week, I went back when I started spotting, and she was like, yep, it's exactly what I think it is, vaginal cuff tear. So, but she did also find out that my endometriosis had spread it. And so as we were talking, she was like, "Yeah, it definitely could have been from when I had the hematoma. Like when she punctured that major blood vessel, and endometriosis spread it
Oh wow.
into other avenues or other parts of my body.
Wow.
So, yeah. So not only did the woman just jack me up by hitting my major blood vessel and lying about it, she didn't cause more complications and more issues. But I just wanted to get healed.
Mm-hmm.
So I set up, had a surgery February 2025. Uh, I went in and got the vaginal cuff tear repaired, and then the removal of the endometriosis. Um, and so after that, I remember the day also well. May 15th, my baby's birthday, 2025. We were out to dinner, and I just started feeling this heavy pressure
Mm-hmm.
and cramping. And so I was like, dang, something going on. So I had to use the bathroom. And I was like, I hate using public restrooms. But I go to the bathroom and I'm hemorrhaging. Blood just flowing.
Wow.
So I come out again. I am. I'm calm. Like, hey, sorry to end the dinner like this, but I need to go to the hospital. So I got rushed to the hospital. Went to the hospital. And my doctor at that time was gone out of the country. So I had to wait till she came back to see her. So, our nurses and everything was checking in on me, but I went to the hospital where she was at. And so when she got back, she was like, I'm sorry. She like, she hate to see it, but she was like, she was so determined. She wants to figure out what's going on with me. She said, I'm telling you, like, if I didn't look in here and see what I see, like, I wouldn't have believed you either. Like nobody was listening to you, and she listened to everything that I said and went in and was able to identify the problem. But then I ain't gonna lie, when I couldn't start bleeding again after that, I was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like after
So
before
what
the surgery.
did she say what caused the hemorrhaging this last time?
So what she said was, she went back in and did some labs and stuff, and she had stated that my endometriosis has spread throughout my body. So they set me up for a GI to
So
see.
it's dang near like a form of cancer.
Yep, yep. She wanted to put me on lupron treatments. So in their injection treatment. So they inject you for 3 months at a time.
Like once every 3 months.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Once every 3 months. So and for me it was just like my body already rejects so much medication and rejects stuff. I can't see myself going and get an injection for 3 months because I didn't do well with the birth control. So
Right.
for me to go get an injection and it's for 3 months, I don't know how my body is about to respond to this. And I'm like, at this
And
point,
it's in you for
I
3 months, and you
yeah,
just gotta wait for it to pass through.
yes. And I'm like, I didn't been told this, this, and this, and I didn't follow doctor's orders all the way up. And just like I just told her I ain't gonna be able to do that. I mean, I said I wanted to do some research. I left and did some research in the videos and stuff that I was finding about ladies, and they were like, I thought having endometriosis was debilitating, but these ladies who took the Lupron treatments was like it was debilitating. These women could not go back to work. Just so much life has been drained from them from the procedures in itself, and I'm like, nah, I
Right.
can't. So I
Right.
asked her for other options, and she was like, she's trying her best not to have to go back in and cut me, and so then she put me on progesterone. She did give me progesterone pill form, and so I've been taking those. Um, I am going to go get a colonoscopy done to see if it has spread it to my colon area. But yeah, Lupron treatment is just like a form of chemo almost. It feels like just
So
listening to it. It was
has
just
the
like, oh.
progesterone helped?
Progesterone helped balance my hormones a lot. Of course, it comes with the hot flashes and all of that, but I feel like it has helped me mentally in my mental space, like my mood swings and where I thought it would make it worse, but it's helped keep those things in check and balance. Um, my pain is not as bad when I do have my bleeding episodes or whatever the case may be, and they don't come on like there has not been any more clotting. Passing clots, thank God. But it doesn't come on like a heavy menstrual cycle. Like it comes every month. I get the breast tenderness, all of that, and it'll come every month. And sometimes it can last a few days, sometimes, but it's just spotting. It's not like a full blown out menstrual cycle.
Oh, okay.
Or like, heavy bleeding. So it definitely has helped.
So during the time when the endometriosis is causing you pain and all of that, what things do you find help you feel better or help to relieve some of the pain?
One is resting. Resting. My herbal teas, I live by them. I swear by them.
What kind of herbs?
Red raspberry is definitely a great herb for any menstrual cycles. Red raspberry, hibiscus leaf. I be blending also, but those are the two that I do the most whenever I'm having those issues, and then I do my wellness shots and stuff like that too. I do some dandelion leaf tea and peppermint tea to calm me. But heating pad and resting. I can tell you now. You asked me about that life lesson. I can tell you that when it's time for you to shut it down, our bodies is like an engine. And my check engine light had been on because, baby, I had been running circles around folks. So you hear me just doing this, this, and this. And I still do it, have a tendency of doing it. But I'm better now because before then, I didn't shut down when my body was shutting down and telling me, hey, baby, we got to stop this. We got to shut down. So going through this whole process has let me know, okay, it's time to shut down. I can't function, and it's okay
Right.
to not be able to function. Not everybody understand it. I've been criticized and told that, I'm broken and this, all of these things. And it was just like, damn, that does mess with your mental
Mm-hmm.
when it's like, I can't do these things. It's not that I'm making this up. Like, I physically don't have either the energy or my body is like, no, like
Right.
you can't function, you can't move, you can't do anything.
Your engine is
Um,
locked up.
the all the way locked up. And it's hard though, because it's hard, like,
You still got stuff to do.
not just hearing that just from a person who you don't rest. It's like
Right.
I've always been
It's one of those things where they talk about like older people, our senior citizens.
yeah.
When they get older, it's like, when they keep working, it helps keep them young. But when they got to stop, it's like, or when they retire, it's like, now what am I supposed to do with myself now?
Right.
I don't know how to sit still.
Don't know how to sit
I don't
still.
know how to just not do nothing. I got to do something.
Yep. And I'm so used to being the caretaker for everybody. I'm like, ain't nobody caretaking for me. Like, and even going through the process, it was hard to have a strong support. I mean, I had a support system
Mm-hmm.
so far, as far as they can reach
Right.
for me, but it was just like the actual support that I needed. No.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was hard because I felt like I was needy in those spaces and I didn't want to be needy. I'm not a needy person. I didn't want to feel like, I really need somebody to take care of me.
Right. Do you feel like in some instances your support system couldn't be there because you couldn't bring yourself to really say exactly how you needed the help? Because sometimes, like, our pride and our egos, like, we feel like ain't nobody there for us, but sometimes it's because we don't know how to ask for help, that other people aren't there for us because we're not letting them know for real that we need them. Yeah.
I feel like that to a certain extent.
Right.
I feel like I also feel like too, when it comes to that, it's also who we choose to help us.
That is very true.
Who we choose to be our support system. So at the time, it was just like, some of the choices and maybe my support system, the people that I wanted to be that support system
didn't have the capability to be
the capability to
yeah
be that support system for me. And so that's another lesson in itself that you had to learn.
Right. And you said something about you had spoke about, having a partner that was there. How has endometriosis, what's it been like trying to navigate relationships and intimacy?
That's hard. That's hard. I feel like
it hinders your bounce. Wow, wow.
I mean, the crazy thing is, so it hinders. I think for me, it hinders the relationship. It hindered the relationship completely. Not even just about Chico Wow Wow, because pretty much when I got on the progesterone, my drive was like this. And like for me, I've never been a really sexual person.
Right.
But it was just like, oh my God, like where is this coming from that I am in this space? You know what I mean? But it was just like too, I'm a mental person. So
right.
If a person wasn't in the mental capacity to receive me when I'm down and I can't be, and making me feel like I have to, that was hard. You know what I'm saying? And then them not fully understanding what I'm going through and what my body was going through.
Right.
And I don't fault, you know what I'm saying? I don't fault that person. It's just like you did not understand fully what I'm dealing with as a woman and what my body's going through. Most men will look at it as like, oh, she making excuses. You know what I'm saying? She just don't want to. She making excuses. Oh, she was, doing that last week, this and that and this, but they don't understand the whole overwhelming of it. It's like the mental space that you're in. Like you're not only your body's going through something, but your mental's going through it with your body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And especially for me to be in a space like I'm not who I was. You know what I'm saying? I'm not this boss chick. Like I don't need nobody for nothing type. Just out here handling.
And now I need somebody.
I'm the biggest provider. I do this. I don't need to ask for help. And so it's like now I'm like, oh my God, I gotta be in my vulnerable space. And and a lot of times I laugh because that's another lesson that's learned. I feel like God has placed me this season to be in my feminine energy. And it's like, for me, it was hard for me to even find that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was in my feminine energy 15 years ago when I was in marriage. Far from it. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
was masculine. I was the breadwinner. I held everything down. So it was like, no, you just had a lot of feminine traits, but you still was constantly in a masculine space, like energy. Like, I I just still gotta do it. I'm doing it all. I still, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
pressing. So it's just like where I just start stripping. Like, no, you can't. You can't. What you gonna do now? Like, what you gonna, I'm telling you, it's time to slow up, sit down somewhere.
Right.
And yeah, I'm hard headed. I'm a little hard headed.
Right. So, what changes would you like to see in women's health care with everything that you've been through?
For me, I feel like the support system, advocating. This is one of the reasons why, stepping out of this whole procedure, I went into doula. I
Mhm.
went in and got my doula certification. Um,
That's another one of those hats that she wears, y'all. She's a life coach. She's a doula. She she didn't mention her business. She got Angel Tasty Treats. You know, she do that stuff.
so yeah, it made me and I think I really did the doula studies and the classes just so I can learn so much. And even the lady who taught it, she was a nurse in the hospitals, in the birthing unit, and just seeing the injustice for women of color and how they treated us and how they treated their babies and all of those different things, which made her leave the hospitals and start the program that she started. I admire that. I feel like if we can have more support in that way, um, because I am a big advocate of holistic health. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I see a lot in there. I'm not against medicine to say, but I know for me growing up, I was always pumped full of medicine.
Right.
So I want medicine to be the last resort. I want us to be knowledgeable and understanding of our body and know too that a lot of the shit is in our diet.
Yeah.
Like, they don't tell us those things because they can't make money off of it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So it drives me to a certain it drives me crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It drives me crazy when a person does get sick and then we're talking holistic health, and it's just because what we've been accustomed to or what we've been taught. It's like, oh, you talking holistic stuff. Listen to the doctors and take this and take what they said for you to take. And it's like, no, that shit's killing us.
Right.
That's what's killing us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you really pay attention to what we're eating and find out what's really going on with your body,
All
because
these
everybody's body is different.
pesticides and everything they putting in the foods and just
That part.
yeah.
And it's like, and even in the medication, it's like you got so much stuff. And one thing, prime example, I'm not an antibiotic person. I don't like taking antibiotics. And I learned this from going through learning classes, but chiropractor. Lady, she has CDEP. She has a whole machine and everything on her. Been having that since she was 13. She was having complications. Doctor gave her antibiotics,
Mhm.
and then she finished that round of antibiotics, and they gave her another set of antibiotics. Caused her CDEP. And that after that, it was just like, and it can, if you take extra antibiotics on top of antibiotics,
Mhm.
you can get CDEP. And she has had this insulin pump and all of that in her, like, since she's been a kid.
Wow.
Like, just took her childhood for, and I think it was like the smallest type of infection that she went in for.
Mhm.
And that's just because they wanted to get paid. You know what I'm saying? But not talking to you about the changes that you can do for your diet or anything that you can actually do. Like, so yeah, they human just like we are. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They
That's one
messed up
thing I
just like
remember
we
my
do.
mom told me when I was young. She was like, you have to know your body because who on the outside of you can tell you about you? Like you have to be able to tell other people about you and know what's going on with you because they're not inside you. They're not living with you every day. They don't know what you're feeling and what you're experiencing.
Yep.
So you have to pay attention to every little part of you so that you can at least be able to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, advocate for yourself and also research and study. They give you prescription with all these big ass words on it and you don't know what they mean. Look it up. See what it's talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? To just see what it's talking about. See what that's why they got all the different side effects. See what it's talking about. Because, antibiotics, chemo, those are things that attack cells, but they don't just attack the bad cells, they attack cells.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know what your body is dealing with. Like for me, I had a low after going to the full functional medicine doctor. For me, I have a very low immune system, and so I started getting supplements that can try to help me build those up or whatever.
Right.
Because it was all trash. So if I was a person, like if I took that Lupron, it could probably kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It start attacking cells that don't need to be attacked because I always had the more red blood cells than white blood cells. So it can start attacking cells that don't need to be attacked.
Right. Yeah.
So
how do you feel? What do you think people should know about trying to help support people that are going through endometriosis? Like what are things that you feel like their support system should know to help give them support?
for one, just educating yourself about endometriosis. But as far as support goes, and I say this with anything, not even just endometriosis, just actively listening. You know what I mean? When a person is really telling you what's going on with their body, throw out whatever judgment you have or whatever thought process you had. Also, even throw out what you've experienced with your body, because again, everybody's body is different. We've all gone through different things. Like I said, there's plenty of women who feel like hysterectomy was the best thing that happened to me.
Right.
There's women who
it didn't work for
the
them.
worst experience.
Right.
So I feel like educating them in a space of, okay, this is what you can experience, this is what you can experience, but study for yourself, know your body, listen to your body. I also would say listen to yourself and your own intuition. So like for me, if I would have listened to my own intuition that first go around when I went to procedure,
Mm-hmm.
I was ready all the way up to procedure day. And when I walked into that hospital, everything was off for me. Something was not, there was nothing that went right for me all the way to stepping in with the paperwork. My nerves was bad, and I was like, I just want to go home. I don't want to do this today. And if I would have listened to my first mind,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't experience what I experienced.
Yeah. And what advice would you give someone who knows something is wrong with themselves, but they don't know exactly what it is?
I would say get checked out. But I would also say do your research. Find you someone you can really, really trust. I truly believe in full functional medicine doctors because they get to the root of things. They actually, you tell them what the complications are, they tell you what type of tests need to be ran, and they give you results, and you can see your results. They can break your results down so you understand your results. You know how we get our little doctor's results back and they tell us these little numbers and this, and you're like, what the fuck does this mean?
Right. Yeah, because there's plenty of times I get my results back and I gotta go look it up. Yeah, it'll say normal or abnormal. They normal.
Yeah.
What is that?
So now it's like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Whereas going to a full functional medicine doctor, you get that, and you get to sit down with them in a consultation where they're breaking down your charts to you.
Right.
To say, hey, this is what is going on with you, and this is your levels, and this and that. You know what I mean? So I definitely suggest it, and it's crazy. And you know why? You know that they're good for you because they don't take insurance. You gotta pay out of pocket. You gotta pay out of pocket. You know what I'm saying?
They money come from you.
Yeah.
Not nobody else.
The government don't want to fund those.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and my full functional medicine doctor was in the hospital. She was in a portion of St. Luke's off from the actual hospital building.
No.
She had her own practice there. But I definitely say the support that they would need, I would see a full functional medicine doctor. Try to see if you can get some results and do some research on some other doctors that's going to be fitting for you. ask around and educate yourself. Like I said, I was going to seminars. There's plenty of them. There's support groups out here on social media that you can jump into, and there I found myself in some of those support groups for endometriosis, and it was helpful for me. I even started therapy and group therapy. Those things were helpful for me, just to help with the mental piece. But just also see who was experiencing other issues outside of your normal issues with endometriosis, going through in some of those support groups on social media, building awareness, just building awareness.
Let me see. Where do I want to go with this? So, how do you feel like it's reshaped your life as far as who you are today?
It reshaped my life tremendously. I still don't feel like I'm all the way where I want to be, or where I need to be, but I can see it. I can.
You see a light at the end of the tunnel.
I see light at the end of the tunnel. It's arm reach. Because I went through the season of just straight defeat. It was just like, okay, I can't. I don't. I started doing my planning, funeral planning, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Telling my kids where the life insurance is, just all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can never know.
Right.
But, I didn't feel like I was making it. Now I'm like, okay, I see light at the end of the tunnel. It also was what put me in a space of wanting to become a life coach. So for me, my source of income and business and career path was always finance, mortgage finance, and real estate, which I still love real estate. You know what I mean? But I feel like I needed to serve a bigger purpose. I really needed to serve a bigger purpose. So it's like, oh my God, I want to.
So you feel like all of this is giving you a new purpose in life?
It's giving me a new purpose, because it was the funny thing. So even when I was teaching, the agents in Keller Williams, I was teaching new agents to study for their test, and so just to get to know you or whatever the case may be, it was like my clients. It was like how they see me. I did a little activity of how you see everybody. So the clients said how they would see me was this very knowledgeable, holistic, spiritual person. And it was like I came into a counter with so many women who were either giving birth in each class, or women who were going through womb problems, just womb. And it was just like they looked at me as like one wisdom, just knowing those things and just being a resource and helping them get into more holistic ways of doing things. So it was just like, oh, that's my purpose. Even though I was doing it natural, naturally. And it's funny because I be from time to time I get a ping in my inbox like, hey, like, what's going on, and ask the question. So I felt like the more and more the crazy thing is I kept driving myself to do the things that I knew was used to doing. My food truck business, Angel Tasty Treats, and all of those moving parts that kept me busy, but was also causing me much stress. The things that I was being called to do, I wasn't doing.
That hard head part you said you need to get, work on.
But
yeah. Okay, so we got a couple of rapid fire questions.
Okay. Let's get
so it's nothing hard. It's nothing hard.
222.
Give me one word that describes your strength.
One word that describes my strength.
Didn't I say this was rapid fire? She going slow.
I can't. Oh God. Rapid fire. I can't. Why I can't think? I'm at a block right now.
One thing you wish you knew sooner.
Girl, life. Life.
One reminder to give yourself.
Keep going.
That's a good one. Now we're going back. One word that describes your strength.
Oh, everlasting. Why is that coming to me?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's everlasting. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Can you tell our listeners, those wonderful people out there, where they can follow and support you?
Well, you can follow me at Vibing with Coach Angel on social media handles, Instagram, and I am also on Facebook. You can also find my YouTube channel, Vibing with Coach Angel. And then when you hit Instagram, you'll see a link, paper bill link to my booking app, and you can book me right there on Instagram.
There's more.
Oh, my Angel's
Yes, honey, put it on out there.
you
Put
need
it
some
on out
sweets. We
there.
got Angel's Tasty Treats. You can find me at Angel's Tasty Treats on Instagram as well and on Facebook. Uh, you can call and book 816-535-6976. Go ahead. That's for both lines. If you need to hit me for life coaching or if you need to hit me for Angel's Tasty Treats.
Didn't I tell y'all she do a little bit of everything?
Don't let me get
And
back into real estate.
we will put all that information in, the comments or whatever, the bio. It'll be down there listed. So thank you for joining us and good night.
Good morning.
Why my thing ain't
Oh no, you have to edit that part.
right? Exactly. Look.